As summer heats up, energy bills are already up 4.5%, and they could rise even more. And a new research shows proposed budget cuts could drive costs even higher for families across the country. Teresa recently talked with Robbie Orvis with Energy Innovation about how to prepare.
Good morning. Let's get right into it. Can you tell us about this new research and what the findings say about what's driving up energy costs?
Absolutely. So many folks out there probably noticing that their energy bills have started to go up, things like their electricity bills or how much they're paying at the pump. And that's being caused by a few different factors. So one of those is higher fossil fuel prices, so higher prices for natural gas and oil, for example. But another big factor here is that the U.S.'s energy demand is actually growing at the fastest rate it's grown in about 20 years and struggling to keep supply up with that growing demand. Now, Congress has a few tax credits already on the books that help to grow that supply to meet that demand. Tax credits, for example, for things like solar and wind and batteries. But Congress is also considering repealing those tax credits right now, which would, of course, mean that less of that electricity would get built if those repeals go through in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, as is currently being debated.
Can I ask you about Arizona? Do you have any thoughts on how our state might be affected by this?
Yeah, definitely. So Arizona has a lot of investment that has popped up since these tax credits were passed. So, for example, there's more than 130 projects that have been announced or proposed worth almost $18 billion in investment. And as an example of what not having these tax credits means, just from the threat of the tax credits being repealed, we've already seen more than $1 billion in canceled projects in Arizona. So if the tax credits fully go through and be repealed, we would expect a lot of those planned projects to also be canceled. And when that happens, it means that that new clean electricity that would otherwise be built to meet that growing demand won't get built. And if that happens, it will cause energy costs to go up. So in Arizona, we find by 2030, the average household would have $260 per year in higher energy costs, but that would swell to nearly $500 per year in higher energy costs by 2035.
Do you see these policy changes having an impact on jobs?
Definitely. So again, a lot of planned projects in Arizona, and again, just the threat of those tax credits going away has already caused nearly $1 billion in cancellations. So we anticipate that if the tax credit repeal goes through as Congress is currently discussing, a lot of those projects would not get built. And that means that the construction jobs that go into building those facilities and the operating jobs, people working on the factory floor there, those also wouldn't happen. So by 2030, we're finding nearly 23,000 fewer jobs in Arizona, growing to more than 27,000 fewer jobs by 2035.
So families, individuals listening to this at home, is there anything that we can do to prepare for the fact that these bills might be rising?
It's a great question. Yeah. So as I mentioned, if the bill goes through and these tax credits are repealed, as is being discussed now, it will raise energy costs. So the best thing folks can do is, if they've been thinking about taking advantage of some of the other tax credits, things out there that will help make homes more energy efficient and reduce the demand of energy, we are seeing in the bill that those are very likely to be repealed as well and go away by the end of this year. So folks should really take advantage of those tax credits sooner rather than later if it's something they've been considering, since they're likely to be gone starting next year.
That's such a good point. Don't postpone looking into this. What's a good place for people to go to find more information?
Yeah, you can find all of our research online at energyinnovation.org.
Thank you so much, Robbie.
Thanks for having me.
The preceding portion of the Arizona Daily Mix was sponsored by Climate